Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Seven Figure Real Estate Agent, Top Agent Interviews here. I'm super excited today to have Yitzchak Pierson here from New Braunfels here in Texas, my home state. So this should be a lot of fun. Really excited to chat about everything real estate related. So sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and get ready. And this episode is brought to you by All Star VAs. If you need a virtual assistant, whether that's executive assistant to do all your emails and personal stuff, or maybe you need an inside salesperson, transaction coordinator, we got all that good stuff for you. Just click the link down in the description and book a consultation, and we'll hook you up with a cost-efficient virtual assistant. All right, let's rock and roll. So Yitzchak, welcome to the show, man. I'm super excited to have you, especially because you're right here in my home state down the road.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Danny.
Awesome, man. Well, tell us first and foremost, I just mentioned where you do, but tell us about, where you sell real estate, what you specialize in, how long you've been doing it, all that good stuff.
Okay. So I'm here in New Braunfels, Texas. We're right between San Antonio and Austin along the I-35 corridor. New Braunfels has been named one of the 10 best places to move for 2025 by National Association of Realtors. And we've been on that list, a few years in a row, as well as like one of the best places for vacation to travel to. We've got a couple rivers here, the Comal River and the Guadalupe River. A lot of people love coming here and going tubing. We also have Schlitterbahn, a big water park. And then we are known for our festivals. It's a German town founded in 1845. Our biggest well-known festival is Wurstfest. It's a 10-day festival, sausage and beer. People come from all over the world and all over the country to enjoy that. It brings in a lot of revenue to the city, as well as just making it like a beautiful place to come live, plant roots, and just get to enjoy what we have to offer in New Braunfels. So I've been in the business going on 4.5 years. I was looking into real estate investing back in 2018. My previous career, I was in manufacturing for about 11 years. Just didn't really see a future in that industry. So with real estate investing, it kind of opened up my eyes to started thinking about maybe making the move or a career change. And then 2020 happened, and I just decided to get my real estate license. Started doing apartment locating part-time while still working in the manufacturing industry, and then made the leap full-time in 2021. And I took the relational approach. My mentor asked me, he was like, do you want a transactional business or a relational business? And I really wanted to build relationships. So I put a lot of focus on in-person networking, really getting involved in my community, and then started getting into social media. It was an area that a lot of agents kind of were resistant to. So I saw an opportunity there, just kept putting myself out there and getting out of my comfort zone. And it's been good, paid off over the last couple of years. I've been able to get my biggest client came from my YouTube channel. So a lot of really good successes there. So that's a little bit about my business here, where I live, and how I got into it.
That's awesome, Yitzchak. So you're a COVID realtor. Got into it during the pandemic, man. That's really cool. Well, congratulations on all your success. I think it's great to see. For me, having been in the business for a long time, seeing younger realtors that come in and really make a difference and an impact and are doing the right thing. So, congrats on all that. That's awesome. Tell me about your shirt, man. I like it.
Are you stressed out juggling? Oh, shoot, I really can't juggle. Now my dog's gonna grab all of it. Okay, listen, this video is brought to you by All Star VAs. Are you stressed out juggling your calendar, your email, all of the tasks you have to do, plus your personal life, which doesn't leave you any time to actually do the stuff that you got into real estate to do, like going on client appointments, negotiating deals, all the fun stuff. Look, if that's you, I have a solution for you. My team of all-star virtual assistants helps me do all of those things so that I can do the stuff that I love doing. And we can install an all-star virtual assistant for you in your business Whether that's an executive assistant, a social media manager to blow up all your accounts, a marketing manager, an inside sales associate, a customer care manager, and plenty of other positions starting as low as $4 an hour. All you got to do is go to allstarvas.com, book a call with our team. We'll tell you all about the program and see if it's a fit for you. All right, back to the video.
So yes, personal growth and development is a big part of why I am successful. And I focus on the 1% better mindset where, we see all of these, highlight reels on social media of people and their successes. And we tend to forget that anybody who has become successful did it one day at a time. And so not focusing on these overarching out of grasp goals, but breaking it down into smaller, more achievable steps, and learning more about like the compound effect of 1% better every day over 365 days makes you 37 times better at whatever task you're trying to accomplish or get better at. So that's kind of a motto that I live by. I'm a high performer. I'm very hard on myself. I always feel like I should be further than I am, but I have to remind myself that, okay, just focus on 1% better. Consistency over the long term is more important than the intensity every day.
I think that's a great message. Obviously, not just in real estate. I think it applies everywhere, business and personal as well. So that's awesome. And then I know you have a book. I'd love to hear about that.
Okay, so yes, I had a very untraditional upbringing, and kind of led me down the path. Since I wrote about it in the book, I'll be fully open and honest. You don't know a lot of my backstory, but I was raised in a religious cult, and I was born off the grid. I was a home birth and didn't have a birth certificate or social security number. I was homeschooled. I quit school in the 7th grade. I was working full-time for our family businesses. And so started in manual labor, didn't really have much of a vision for a future without a birth certificate or social, couldn't really go out and do much. So my mom finally, by the time I was 16, she was able to leave, and she helped. I have 4 sisters. She started the process to help us get birth certificates and social security numbers. And so finally I was able to get mine right when I turned 18, and I was able to leave, go out into the real world. So my dreams growing up was to just have a normal life, and I was able to accomplish that dream. At 18, I went into manufacturing. I got to do everything I had never been allowed to do. With that came getting into smoking weed and getting into alcohol and partying. Was in a college town, San Marcos, Texas. And so kind of went on a downward path for a while, just, hanging out with the wrong crowd. It was, I got arrested the first time at 19 for possession of marijuana. And then I got a DWI at 23. And then I still didn't change a lot of my habits and routines. I was working the same job, hanging out with the same people, repeating the same habits over time, and not getting a different outcome. So after I turned 25 is when I started thinking bigger, and I started wanting to do more with my life. There was still setbacks. I did get another DWI. I woke up in a ditch, and fortunately nobody else was involved, but wrecked my car, and got out and blacked out, woke up with cops and EMS around me. And that was kind of the final straw. I'd already started working to change my life, but that kind of pushed me over the edge to, cut out drinking and partying, and just went full force into switching careers. And through that process, when I switched careers, I hired a coach. And I saw the value of what coaching did for me, and I wanted to do that for other people. So I got a coaching certification, and then I just I have 3 coaching certifications now. My most recent one that I use the most is through Brendan Burchard. He's one of the top mindset and performance coaches. reading his book, High Performance Habits, really helped me breaking it down into, habits make sense to me. And so my habits used to be that I would work and then I would go drink with these group of friends. And, that was just, I would repeat the same habits. So work to change my habits, learned a lot through the coaching programs of a lot of the self-work that I had done was a lot of what a coach would have helped me with. And through getting into social media and building my real estate business and getting into coaching, I had a publisher reach out to me on Instagram through social media, and her name's Chris Cowley. She has a company called Game Changers Publishing, and I did a interview with her and her team to kind of see what it would look like to write a book, because people had always told me I should write a book about my life, but I'm not good at typing. That wasn't one of my strong suits. And so she took advantage of AI and incorporated it into her publishing business. So we did, Zoom has the Fathom AI recorder. And so we did about 3 90-minute brain dump sessions where I spoke out my story. And then I had like 75% of a working manuscript to go off of, and they helped me with the publishing process. So got the book published about my life, everything that I went through, then the career changes, and then all the personal growth and development and kind of the concepts that I learned through other people like Ed Milet, Dr. Joe Dispenza, just so many, Wayne Dyer. And I condensed everything that I had learned and put it in a book. And I was fortunate enough to hit Amazon best-selling author with the help of the publishing company. And that's kind of part of my legacy and what I've done to pay it forward. And, learning from my mistakes and being able to share them with other people makes it more of a win-win.
Man, Yitzchak, what a cool story. I mean, I obviously would never know, and now it makes me want to read the book for sure. But that's great. We'll definitely link to that as well in the description. So highly recommend to pick that up. That's awesome, man, that you were able to overcome all of that and, become successful and personal development and everything that you're doing. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think, I've worked to reframe my beliefs around, my childhood. I used to have a lot of self-limiting beliefs that I couldn't do certain things because of the way I was raised. And I've worked to reframe those to where it's like I can do anything because of the adversity that I've overcome, because of everything that I went through, made me a stronger, more resilient, more resourceful person. And that's part of like what my superpowers are, is being able to overcome obstacles that other people wouldn't even be able to imagine. It's like after everything that I've gone through, doing this real estate thing, it was scary to get out of my comfort zone, but I've just like continually forced myself out of my comfort zone. And it's helped me to grow the business that I currently have. And I just keep pushing myself to continually grow every day.
I love that, man. That's great. My wife and I listen to a lot of, similar podcasts, a lot of the guys you mentioned. It's funny, she's a big fan of Dispenza, the guy you mentioned. And she's given him to me, and I love very similar content, but for some reason, he confuses the heck out of me. So he's one I don't listen to.
Yeah, that's why I listen to so many different ones. And, I look at it, I talk about I started doing public speaking, and I have 10 ingredients for my recipe for success. And so I say we all have different ingredients that are going to make up our own individual success. And so I'll take ingredients from anywhere I can get it, and then I'll, put it all together. And you're going to have different ingredients, and I'm going to have, some people are going to resonate with you more than they're going to resonate with me. And that's what you have to do, is go out and find who works for you and just what's that magic sauce for your recipe.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. That's awesome. So Yitzchak, let me ask you this. How do you incorporate, this work? Because I think it's awesome what you're doing and adding so much value to people. Do you incorporate that at all into your real estate business, or are they completely separate?
I incorporated, the communication skills that I've learned through coaching, asking questions, digging below the surface. It's a lot more conducive to building relationships with your clients where it's not just surface level. I'm very naturally analytical. So when I first started, I would just go, okay, what's your bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, location, price point? Those is what I would immediately go to. So the coaching helped me build my emotional intelligence to dig below the surface. What's important to you? Are you moving here for family? Why is that important to you? So asking those deeper questions helps get, a lot of people don't know exactly what they're looking for. So helping get more clarity, what the client's looking for, better communication skills, having difficult conversations, and providing solutions. One of the things that I've come to realize in life and in real estate is I say you got to roll with the punches because they're always going to be coming. You're never going to have a smooth transaction, but you got to provide solutions. So don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution. Come to the client with the solution and then adapt to the changes. You just, especially in this market with clients, with each transaction in life, it's always adapting to the changes. So the coaching has helped me in that sense. And then I'm also building a real estate team. I work at eXp Realty, so I have a downline of agents. And so being able to have that value proposition of coaching them and helping them be successful, communicating with them, and also teaching them reverse engineering how I think and how I accomplish what I've accomplished to be able to share it with them.
Yeah, I think what's so cool about the EXP model, and I talk to agents at all different models. Is agents will, like you said, some will resonate with what you're saying and call you and see if they can partner with you, and some will like someone else better. And so I think that's such a great model to allow for that, in what you're doing. So that's fantastic. And Yitzchak, I really like how you mentioned that you incorporate that into your real estate business that way too, because I'm sure that really connects you with clients, really well in that area. So, question for you was, you talked about your YouTube channel. Would love to hear kind of your, unique value proposition in the market, like basically answering the question, like, hey, if someone's in your area, why should they work with you over all the other agents who are in the area as well?
Absolutely. So, I actually learned, with everything about YouTube. There's a channel in Dallas called Living in Dallas, Texas. There are two guys with eXp Realty. And so I had done a YouTube channel and I did more educational content, explaining different processes, but learning from them, being a community oriented YouTube channel. So the name of the channel is Living in New Braunfels, and showing what the lifestyle is like living here, what restaurants are coming to the area, what attractions, reviewing some of the model homes and some of the big communities. We have two master plan communities, Mayfair, which is going to be 1,900 acres with 300 acres of public parks, 35 miles of hike and bike trails. It's going to have Midtown Mayfair, is going to be similar to the Pearl or the Domain, where it's going to have shopping and dining. So being really tied into the community, what's going on within the community, being kind of like that local expert to share with my clients, whether from initial outreach to being able to answer their questions about the market. So in that sense, I'm also very involved with my real estate board. I'm actually on the board of directors. I've sat on several committees. So learning keeping up to date with everything in the real estate industry as far as changes, and then going into the city, what's happening here. I'm a major investor in TreePack, which is the Texas Realtors Political Action Committee. So went to the Capitol this year to advocate for private property rights. The homestead exemption, we're pushing to get that from $100,000 up to $140,000 this year to give some more tax relief for property taxes. So really staying involved on every aspect of real estate, and then staying involved in the community here in New Braunfels, and then pushing that out to my audience on social media and YouTube, and helping them stay informed. I was also voted best real estate agent in New Braunfels last year. So just being hyper local in this community has helped me a lot.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's so cool. And it's funny. Like I have young agents that say, like, "Hey, what should I do for business?" And I tell all of them, like, start a YouTube channel. Now, a lot of people are, maybe afraid or nervous. They don't know what to do on camera and stuff like that. So, for the agents who are watching, and obviously you've been successful on YouTube, what advice do you have for them? For people that want to start a YouTube channel of their own?
So just start. That's the biggest thing. You only get better by doing. I have videos. I started making some videos in 2020, weekly check-ins when I was going through my real estate licensing, and it's very difficult to watch. But the only way I've gotten better is by shooting, starting with short form content, getting more comfortable there. And then, I mean, I used the teleprompter for my videos for like a year and a half. I'd use ChatGPT to come up with a script, and then I'd put it on a teleprompter and go through it. I got better at reading the teleprompter, expanding my vocabulary, using my cadence and voice inflection. So that was kind of like my training grounds, along with the short form content, taking classes on social media, just putting myself out there helped me get better. The two things that I always hear is that they don't like their voice and they don't like seeing themselves on camera. So one, with your voice, you hear your voice coming out of your mouth and going back in through your ears, so it sounds different to you, rather than when you hear it on audio, it's completely unfiltered. But that's how everybody else hears you. So you're the only one, you're your biggest obstacle. And then the same with being on camera. If you don't like the way you look, I mean, it's just something you got to get over. Everybody knows how you look already, and people want to see a genuine, authentic version of you. They don't want this perfectly, makeup done all of the time. It's like they want to be able to relate to you. Oh, he's got a stain on his shirt, or he messed up on that word. I would do the same thing. So that relatability makes the videos get more views because that people can relate to it. I've paid some good money to have really well done content, really edited well with stop motion graphics, and those videos didn't do that well. They didn't. I think we're in a day and age where we're so inundated with ads and different stuff like that. So like I had a friend tell me, oh yeah, when it looks super high quality, I think it's an ad, so I just scroll past it. So you got to find a balance of I did all my own editing for a long time using CapCut. I think people want it to be too perfect, and perfection is the enemy of completion. So as long as you can just put out the product, don't worry about like getting it perfect. Um, I look at the long time horizon of how long I'm going to be in this business and making videos. I'm going to make thousands and thousands of videos. So one isn't that big of a deal. And the more you get out there, it builds your entire like digital resume. So when people go look at me, look up my name, or look up, there's my Google reviews, there's all these videos from all of the different social media platforms, YouTube, articles. So you have like a whole marketing wheel with different spokes. And video is one of the best because it's out there working for you 24/7 after you make it. So that's why it was the best investment of my time to go spend 30 minutes to an hour making one video, and then it's out there working for me 24/7.
Yeah, 100%, man. I couldn't agree more. And so I think agents definitely should take a look and get over that that hurdle of kind of self doubt and all that kind of stuff, and just like you said, just start and make it happen. And so really the question too is like, so when did you start seeing results in terms of clients actually reaching out to you from YouTube?
So that's the other thing. You have to be okay with delayed gratification, doing the task over and over without seeing results. So I was probably a year and a half of posting every single week on YouTube. And then I also, I believe, especially when you're new, the best investment you can make is in yourself, in your education, learning how to do something better. So I paid for a class with Travis and Levi, done with course, to learn how YouTube works, to learn how to optimize my channel with the tags, and just the channel full optimization. Then I went out and learned the videos that get the best results, like pros and cons videos. Hey, here's the pros and cons of living in New Braunfels, Texas. And then here's what 3 different homes at 3 different price points get you in Canyon Lake. The one that has the most views was me sharing my screen on Google Maps of Canyon Lake and saying, oh, here's where Whitewater Amphitheater is, just showing like a map tour. And so I went out, recorded all those videos, and then their editing team put them together. And so those videos got me more views. And I switched up after that. I switched up the type of video because I realized it wasn't the best use of my time anymore to do the talking head videos. So that's where I focus on more community-oriented videos, highlighting homes, model homes, communities, events, and things like that. And those have gotten me better results. But it's that consistency over the long term.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yitzchak, and so in terms of like actual reach outs, right? Because people always ask me, well, like, do you need a lot of subscribers? Like, because they see some people with 30, 40, 50,000 subscribers, and they see smaller channels. And, I have noticed when I talk to people that you actually, in real estate, you don't need a lot of subscribers to get people calling you. Have you experienced that as well?
Yes. So my story is unique, and I'm very grateful, but I have my biggest client that came from YouTube. So it can take one person, one client. So this client is a group of investors. I have sold them 37 homes in the last 12 months, and we have 10 under contract right now. So we'll be at 50 homes in less than 2 years, and that was from YouTube. And then
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So it's the consistency in it. You don't have to have a lot of subscribers. You don't have to have a lot of views. It just takes the right one. I've had people reach out from Canada, from California. This particular client is an international investor, and they are going to continue to keep buying. But I believe luck is where preparation meets opportunity. So it's the preparation that I took in the education and the experience in real estate, knowing my market, combined with putting in the preparation of making the videos to get the client. So I was prepared when that client came in. I had the relationships built with our inspectors, our property management companies, the sales reps at the new home communities that we're buying in. And that's what's helped. Also, they really enjoy my communication. They have homes in multiple states. They're got a pretty big portfolio, and these were their first investments in Texas. And they really enjoy working with me as an agent, and I'm very happy about that. But it goes to show all of the extra work, the unseen hours that I put in have really paid off with these clients.
That's awesome, Yitzchak. That's so cool. And just out of curiosity, so did they saw a video? Did they call you, email you, book a consultation? I'm just curious how that relationship got started.
Yeah, so this goes back to from the beginning of me getting in the business, organizing my calendar and being good with time management. So I use my Google Calendar for everything. I integrated Calendly. And so I had Calendly, set up on YouTube. They booked a calendar appointment with me off of YouTube. And so, I tell people that means in order for people to be able to do that, you have to input everything into your calendar and live by your calendar. And so that's what I'll tell people is like, if they ask me, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I got to look at my calendar. But that allowed the flexibility and the freedom for this client to just find me on YouTube and book a straight call with me. And then, I called to verify that, they were who they said they were and that we were good for the appointment. And then we met and we started building a relationship. They reached out at the end of November in 2023. We worked together and made the connections and relationships. And then we started purchasing our first properties in February of 2024.
That is awesome, man. Congratulations on that. That is so cool. If that's for the agents that are watching, if that's not proof enough to get that YouTube channel up and running, I don't know. I don't know what else I can say. That's awesome, man. And then in terms of team, I know you said you're starting to build a team. So as a kind of a systems business guy, I'm curious, what does your team look like in terms of agents? And then do you have also administrative staff? Any whether they're virtual or in person? Love to hear about your setup.
Yeah. I'm just starting out on that point. I've been with the brokerage 4 years, but me personally, I feel like I have to know it all. So I'm getting my broker's license. I'll have my broker's license in July. And if for those that don't know, here in Texas, it's 900 hours to get your broker's license, as well as 4 years in the business. So I really focused on learning production, uh, focusing on education. And so like I've kept on track. I'm at 4.5 years, and so I'll be right at 6 months over the mark where I could have gotten my broker's license with the amount of education that I've done, as well as the coaching certification. So I work to build my value proposition. I like to practice what I preach. So I didn't want to, I know I could have brought on agents, but I want retention. We have a lot of overturn in the business. I've seen agents move to 6 different brokerages. I've had a couple agents come on and then leave. Fortunately, I have a really good upline. My mentor, Jesse Zagorski, he has about 1,600 agents in his downline, and he has a full-time onboarding assistant. We have, outside of what EXP, our brokerage, has to offer, we have a lot of training that we offer. So I'm working to leverage what's already put in place, as well as EXP is continually improving what we have to offer. So I came on 4 years ago. I'm not even fully up to date with what we have to offer. Now we've got Canva offered. We have a Sisu platform. So with the agents that I'm currently bringing on, I'm trying to get up to date with what EXP has that's going to be the most beneficial to our agents. And then so I brought on a part-time assistant, one of the agents. She's been a transaction coordinator for 5 years, as well as she was an assistant for another agent. So she's going to help me on some of the back-end stuff, just to take it off my plate, and some of the things that I've put on the back burner, to help me with production, and then agent attraction, as well as agent retention. So that's something that's really important. Also, I really love teaching new agents, but I want agents that are producing. So part of going into this year, it was building the value proposition to attract high producing agents. And I felt I could do that better if I was also a high producing agent. So that's kind of where I'm sitting with the team, starting really after I get my broker's license, to go hardcore with that the last 6 months of this year.
That's awesome, Yitzchak. Very cool, man. Yeah, it seems like you're very systematic about it and purposeful, which I think is great, in someone who's newer, I would say. I mean, now you're a veteran. You've been in the business for 4 years, but, someone who's newer, I would say, in the industry, to really take that leadership role, I think is really, really great to see from you, for sure. You've given us such good value already. Any last parting words for either our agents who are watching, or maybe someone in the area that is looking to hire a real estate agent to buy or sell there in New Braunfels?
Well, if you're looking to buy or sell here in New Braunfels, I would love to help you. I have a great relationship with all of the partners that you would need. If you're moving here to the area, from start to finish, I can help you. If you're an agent just looking to grow your business, I'd love to connect. I'm always looking to bring on highly motivated, growth-minded individuals to my team, and so that's kind of what I'm looking for. And in general, just for life, I always think, the 1% better mindset is something to take to heart. Have gratitude for where you're at. I'm very conscientious not to burn myself out. I really try and enjoy the journey and not just focus on the destination. So I say I work 7 days a week, but I don't work all day 7 days a week. I that's the thing I do love about this job, is I can go be tubing the river, and then I get off the river and go do a couple showings, and then go have dinner with my friends or family. And so I prioritize friends and family first. I want the holistic lifestyle, because if you just focus on making a bunch of money and you neglect all of your relationships or your health, health is one of the things that is most important to me, because you don't fill your cup, physically, emotionally, mentally first, you're not able to help anybody else. So that's, I guess, my parting words there.
100%. Yitzhak, what I love about our chat is I think this is everything you've said is so applicable not just to real estate or real estate agents, but every business and also just in life. So I so appreciate you giving us your time and also your wisdom and sharing all the knowledge and everything that you've learned. This is really fantastic.
Thank you, Danny.
So you guys, everything, all of Yitzhak's contact info will be linked below, including the book and the YouTube channel. So make sure you check that out. Definitely check out our sponsors for the channel and the video that help support all of this great information that you get here for free on YouTube, of course. And be sure to check out another YouTube video. They're going to recommend the one that YouTube thinks you're going to like the most. So check that out, and I'll catch you on the next episode. All right.